Hello. Good to see you guys. All righty. It's been a while. Hallie, how long has it been since we've been live?
About a month.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time. It's y'all, for those of you who are moms, can appreciate that May is like the longest month of the year. Although December's pretty laborious as well. But holy cow, my kid is like in kindergarten and all the things that you have to do for the kids. It's crazy to deal with May. Plus business and all the things, and we've been busy moving. So I have not been live for a while, have not been in the Facebook group too much. So if you are new around here, if you're catching this on a recording, please go ahead and drop a note if you're watching a replay. Okay, if you're here live, I can see you here on the Zoom. I appreciate you being here. It's awesome. Let me do the gallery. There we go. I can see you. And so if you're on a replay, go ahead and type in replay. I'd love to see who's circling back because we're trying a little bit of a new format as well. What are we talking about today? We are talking about the skinny on interns, right, Hallie? The skinny on interns, the down and dirty,
Yeah,
the inside scoop,
yeah, the deets, the how-tos, the tips, the
all
do's and
the things, all the things. So my name is Michelle Lynn. And if you're on our Facebook page watching this recording, the Interior Designers Business Launchpad is my private Facebook group. And this is the free, for the free page. We have a paid program. It's called the Interior Designers Business Bakery. It's a year-long mentorship program. And that one is a completely separate Facebook page because it is a paid program. If you're interested in learning more about the Interior Design Business Bakery, you can just tag me, Michelle Lynn, in the comments. Hallie just dropped the link in if you're here live on Zoom. And so we can get you some more information on that. But I still own ML Interiors Group, which is an award-winning interior design firm in Dallas, Texas. And so that's one of the things that definitely sets us apart here in the Launchpad and in the Interior Design Business Bakery is that I am a working interior designer. I have a team. We are in the trenches with y'all. And so that's what brings us over to today's topic is an intern. Let's talk about some of those nuances and some of the details about that. We have had some great experiences with interns over the course of the last, decade or so. And then we've had some not so great interns that we can talk about that as well. So what I'd love to hear from you guys is for those of you who are live, drop a note in the chat here on Zoom. So if you're watching this on Facebook, I'd love to hear from you as well. It's going to be the replay, but if you're here live on the Zoom, drop a note in the chat how long you've been in business. Okay, how long have you been in business and have you ever considered hiring an intern? Rhea, I know Rhea's here. So I am currently sitting in the Zoom room at Studio Works, which is our co-working studio in Dallas, Texas. Rhea's in her own private office, and she actually just popped into my office and said that she has hired an intern today. Hello, girl, I'm calling you out. She's just recently, I think, made an offer to an intern, so we might just pull her on board to say hello as well. Oh, hey, Jackie, good to see you. Hello. Yay, we've got some bakers here. Bakers and farmer bakers. Okay, so y'all drop a note in the chat if you've ever considered or if you have hired an intern. So Rhea, you have to participate because I happen to know your answer. So let's talk about one of the first things that I learned about hiring an intern is that awesome. Registered with FIT to hire interns. Okay, good. Thank you, Marilyn. Hey, girl, good to see you. Good to see you. One thing that I learned when I first started considering hiring an intern is that some interior design programs So if you're looking to hire a true intern, somebody who's going to school for interior design, some programs require the intern to work under a registered interior designer. So I am not a registered interior designer. I'm not licensed. I'm just, technically what you would probably call a decorator. Even though we do design, a lot of design work, I don't do commercial. So if you are solicited and say, hey, you'll get a resume in your email box and it'll say, hey, I am going to be home during the summer and I'd love to have an intern job. Are you hiring? Well, if you are considering it, one of the first things you want to ask is, I'm considering it, but do you need to work under a registered interior designer? So if you're a registered interior designer, it's not a big deal. If you're not, like me, then that will rule some people out. Or what requirements does the school have for your internship? Sometimes they need to have that might be a better question, is what requirements does your school have for your internship? Because it might be a certain number of hours, it might be some specific content that they need to be applying from their schooling and things along that line. So that's where I would start. Another thing is back, in the day, I was able to get some interns for no charge, or for free, basically. They wanted to work for free. And that's really not happening as much anymore. It may on occasion, but it will also rule out some of the quality work that some of the quality team members that you might get. So I definitely recommend paying to paying your intern. Plus, who wants to work for free? Like if somebody asked me to work for free for the summer, I'd be like, screw you. I can go work at Dairy Queen and get soft serve, and chicken fingers and still get paid. So that's just me. So I would just consider that as you are considering hiring an intern. And then if you're not getting resumes just sent to you, okay, or if you do get resumes sent to you, I would suggest dropping them into a file and just keeping them there. Because you never know if you're going to need somebody 2 years from now. If it's a good looking resume, you might want to give them a call later, not for an intern, but for a regular hire. I just think it's always handy to have resumes on hand. So another thing that you want to consider is, are they local or are they just coming home? Are they planning on staying home, or are they planning on being in your city after graduation? So that could be something that you consider. Is this a junior? Is this a senior? Where are they in their process? And is this somebody that you're going to want to potentially, and you don't know, you haven't hired them yet, is this somebody you're going to potentially want to keep? So if you're thinking that you're probably going to need to hire and you kind of want to test drive your intern, you need to confirm whether or not they are local to the area. Maybe they are in school at UNT, which is University of North Texas here in the Dallas-Fort Worth, a little bit north. And they're just staying here for the summer and they're looking for an internship, or is this their home? So different things to consider are going to be the geographic aspects of it. Where can you get good interns? Well, I've done a variety of things. Like I had mentioned, I was talking to Rhea earlier, and she has registered her company, and put a posting on their job board at local community college. So that's one way to go about getting some consideration. Another thing is, if you are in an area that has universities or has an art institute or just has some local programming, even if it is just some of the, oh gosh, we had somebody start over here recently. There are some other training programs, but you can reach out to the professors, reach out to the instructors and say, hey, I am in need of somebody who meets these requirements. Who do you have? Who do you know? And just stay in touch with them, because they may very well be able to send you people year after year after year. And even if you're not looking to hire for the long term, then having an extra set of hands over the summer can prove to be helpful. Things that you can have them do. All of us will be a little bit different as to how we navigate what an intern does for us. But you're going to want to give them some some hands-on experience, but then you're also going to want to give them some of the shit work. Just saying it. Some of the shit work is what you're going to give them, the stuff that you don't want to do. Even if it's just taking samples back, or if it's picking up furniture from a client's house that needs to be repaired, or just any of that type of stuff that you really don't want to do. It's really nice to have an intern that's willing and eager to do that. Some of the hands-on stuff that you can have them on site is to go with you for some of your initial visits, to go with you for some of the client interviews, to go with you for the visits where you're going to take detailed measurements, or to sit in on a design presentation. All of this may not be moving your business forward a whole lot, but you're giving some wonderful experience to this individual for them to see whether or not, whether or not they show up and work hard. Because if you are looking to potentially hire them in the long run, are they willing to do the grunt work? So yes, so Rhea hired her niece for the shit work. She's a high school senior and drives Rhea to work. She's excited to sit with her all day. Y'all, Rhea, that's a great point, is like, we're in a relatively sexy industry where people just kind of want to hang out with us. So oftentimes you might be able to get somebody who just wants to come and hang out and work for free. Your intern does not necessarily have to be a student. You could very easily find a stay-at-home mom who's just wanting to work part-time and help you out. And that person, you could basically call it like an intern for the first 3 months, because you're taste testing, you're test driving them. So I've done that as well. Hallie, I know I wrote some notes out and then I left it at my desk. Some other things to consider is going to be, with an intern, you need to make sure that you are still checking references, just as if you're hiring a full-time employee. And then you also want to set your expectations out. What are the working hours? What is the time off policy that you have for your intern? What is the dress code? Y'all, some of these college kids, they're not of my generation. So they have a completely different expectation of their attire. So make sure you spell that out and you don't actually make any assumptions. Just saying. Booty shorts, yes, exactly. Or the top knot and torn jeans. It's like, I had a former employee who came to me basically as a brand new grad. And she'd walk in with her little top knot bobbing up here, and she'd have her torn jeans on and her flip-flops and her sweatshirt. And I was like, oh, so here's my suggestion, is whatever you would wear to church is what you could wear to work. And she's like, oh, I wear this to church. I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to spell this out for you and put it in black and white, because that shit ain't working. So just keep those things in mind. You're going to want to spell that out. You're going to want to make sure that you have regular conversation with them. And by that, I mean checking in with them at least once a week. Like, hey, how's it going? Do you have any questions? Are you getting what you need? Things along that line. And we might think that that would be an easy process. But y'all know that when you get busy and you're just like trying to get some of the stuff done, it's sometimes overlooked. Thanks, Hallie. What would you recommend paying them hourly? So as I mentioned earlier, it's not very likely you're going to get free help. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not as likely, and you may need to qualify their you might just need to qualify them, see if they're going to be a good employee. Like, can they speak? Can they write? The basics. I know Rhea just brought hers on at a very, I don't want to say low rate, but a very reasonable rate. I'm just going to throw it out here, Rhea. She brought hers on at $12 an hour, which is like peanuts. But that gives you room to increase their pay as they move forward. I think I brought my last intern on probably at 15 and then increased her as her abilities increased. That's the word I was looking for. So $15, $12, a lot of it when you're talking about it is you're going to ask them, like, what are you looking for? So interviewing is a key. Hallie, I think we could probably do a whole live on interviewing, whether it's for an intern or for part-time or full-time hire. So with an intern, you're going to want to go ahead and ask them what their compensation requirements are. That's the easiest way to ask about pay. What are your compensation requirements? And they might say, hey, I'd work for free. Okay, great. Well, then just make sure you're meeting minimum wage in your state. And unlimited sick days, paid hourly. If they want more, they can add to it for their timesheets. So that's very flexible, Ree. Thank you for sharing that. You might also consider topping them off at a certain number of hours so that they're not sucking you dry, not doing much of anything. So that's something that you might want to say that you can have between this number and this number of hours. Make sure you give them the timesheet. Are they going to be on your payroll or are they going to be contract? So those are the things that you're going to want to clarify with your intern as you start to onboard them. So these are the things that you're going to want to have spelled out. And I know Rhea, just knowing her level of detail, probably had all of this spelled out before she went into it. But these are the types of things that you're going to want to go ahead and address so that when they ask you, am I going to be on, am I going to be on payroll or do I get benefits or anything like that, that you have all of those answers already hammered out. So for me, yeah, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Thank you, Hallie. So for me, I put them on my payroll right away. She did not need to go 1099 on most of my interns over the course of the years. Just because if you put them on 1099, that means they're required to deal with the taxes later. And y'all, as a college kid, the last thing you're going to want to do is try to figure that out. So if I can make it as easy as possible for them, that was my goal. And it wasn't that much more expensive on my part anyway. What else can there be? Rhea, have I forgotten anything that you just went through recently?
No, I actually did the full interview process. I made sure that even though they were juniors, I wanted to still be prepared for an interview like a job. So I told them ahead of time saying, get ready with presentations, show me what you've already worked on. So that way it gave me an idea to kind of figure out if they're able to do floor plans, if they've done material selections, like what they have actually done. Because they
Right.
gave
Can
me
they
like
actually
random things
contribute
like
to your
studio.
business?
Correct. And they say, oh, I did Studio One and Studio Two, and I did this. And I'm like, well, the way my school was done was a little different. So I don't know what Studio One, Studio Two means in your
Yeah.
school. So
Mhm.
basically to see how they've done.
No, that's good. That's really good. Plus, you guys need to be able to figure out if they are, if they have good communication skills, because what if they have to get in touch with the client for some reason? That's not ideal. You don't want your intern interacting or interfacing with your clients for the most part, but if they do, can they at least speak? Insurance coverage for your business. Angie, that's a great question. Thank you. You would definitely want to reach out to your insurance carrier, your insurance agent, and see what, if any, additional coverage you might need. That's going to vary by state. And also probably your revenue levels, but mostly by state. Everybody here is going to be a little bit different. And yeah, Studio 1 and 2 is first semester of a 2-year college. Oh, that's good to know, Marilyn. There you go. There's some insight for y'all. So that is basically the skinny on hiring an intern. You do want to make sure that you have a designated space for them. Do you need to get them a laptop? If so, your laptop, you should also have a document that's a laptop policy. Rhea, if you need one, I have one. Just knock on my door. A laptop policy. Do they get a credit card? Things along that line. So you want to make sure that you have these details spelled out in advance. And also, oh, there was something else I was going to say. And also making sure that you get proper notice at the end of the summer. So you guys will want to agree upon, you guys are going to want to agree upon the final day so that they don't just take off at the end of July and take the last 2 or 3 weeks off of summer before they go back to school. You want to make sure that that's clarified and you're not left in a lurch. And I say that one from personal experience. Yeah. So again, my name is Michelle Lynn. I am the owner of ML Interiors Group. So if you want to check out the legitimacy, it's mlinteriorsgroup.com. and I am a business coach for interior designers. That's truly where my passion is these days. I love interior design, but I have a really badass team who navigates a lot of that as well, so that I have the opportunity to come here live. So next week we will be here again. So we're live on Zoom. The Zoom will be dropped into the Interior Designers Business Launchpad. If you're watching a replay on Facebook, type replay in, please. And next week, we're going to be talking about project photography tips. And we just had a really amazing photo shoot last week that I can't wait to get the images back. And we'll be sharing those on our social media soon. So thank you guys for being here. And again, if you have any questions, please don't type them in. Please don't hesitate to type them into the comments section on Facebook now. So thanks for being here. Oh, Rise and Design. Hey, Hallie, yeah, come on up here. Hold on, y'all. Hallie has.
Oh, no, I can talk, but I can't be on camera today.
Yes, we have come out with this new program or new workshop.
We have found that a lot of our bakers even, and a lot of people in the launch pad, they have a natural talent and eye for design, and they've been messing around with it in their lives and doing it as a hobby, or they want to do it and they believe
Family
in
and
themselves, but they don't. And so we are want to serve that community. We're calling them designers without a degree. So Debbie, Michelle's senior designer, has been with her over 10 years,
Yeah.
is amazing at coaching designers that do not have traditional training. And so she's going to do a workshop. I just put a link in. If this is you, or you have a friend of yours that's in the field and wants to get some confidence to really own your badassness and become a paid designer, that workshop will be amazing for you. Of course, we will introduce Debbie's going to do her own coaching program to take you further along that process. But this is like a peek into that, and you'll walk away. It's a 3-day workshop. It's not our normal like week-long big one. So it is a little bit shorter than normal, but you're going to walk away with some really good, clear instructions on how to start a project, how to communicate with the client. So it's, you're gonna get a lot out of that workshop itself. So we would love for you to attend that and share it with others. And maybe you'll continue having Debbie as your coach. I know a couple people on this call have been coached by Debbie. You know how amazing she is. So yeah, we're excited to announce that too. I think it's a really underserved market in the design industry. So
Yeah, it's called Rise and Design Workshop. And we are, like, as Hallie said, we're going to talk, Debbie is going to talk to you about how to kick off a project professionally, how to have these conversations with clients so they take you seriously, and how to step into the role of an interior designer when all you've really done is probably projects for your friends and family. So thank you, Hallie, for that reminder. That's going to kick off on the 17th.
correct. 3 days. They're about at noon central. They're going to be under an hour, and they'll be replays. So
yeah. So join us. It's free and it's badass, and you can take this content away. Hi, David. Good to see you. It starts on the 17th. Click on the link that Hallie just dropped in there, and starts on the 17th for 3 days. And the content is about an hour a day. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, y'all. Thanks for being here. We'll see you again next week as we talk about project photography tips. And as always, don't hesitate to DM us or tag us in the Facebook group. Hallie, I'm out of practice. I'll see you guys soon.